Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting for coverage of the Club Jerky Mayhem Modifieds, powered by Major's Garage. Tonight, these SK Modifieds will be taking on Lucas Oil Raceway for 50 action-packed laps here. I'm going to be your announcer for tonight, Atlee Atman-Weeson. I'm excited to be calling the action here on Intensity Broadcasting. Right now, currently, we're nearing the halfway point of the season here in the Mayhem Racing League Modified Series. And right now, Eddie Hughes is on the top of the point standings with 218 points and 2 wins, but only 23 points behind him in second. It's Logan Powers with 195 points and 3 wins. Third in points, it's Thomas Eggleston. Fourth in points is Stephen Rochefort. And fifth in points is Sean Langton. So still a lot of time for Powers to gain some points and get up there in the point standings. It's not the end of the season yet, and we'll see what happens here. I think the results from tonight's event could definitely affect our point standings based on who has a good race and who doesn't. So we will see what happens. I do want to thank our two supporters of this league, Major's Garage and Club Jerky. And Major's Garage is the home of free baseline setups, awesome affordable monthly subscriptions, telemetry, coaching, and more. So if you're interested in any of those things, again, free baseline setups, awesome affordable monthly subscriptions, telemetry, coaching, and more, make sure to visit majorsgarage.com. Major's Garage does supply the setups for this league, and I've heard they're pretty good, so if you're interested, and it's not just for SK Modifieds, it's for a lot of cars on iRacing, so if you're interested in that, make sure to visit their website. Mayhem Racing League is a powered by Major's Garage league. We also want to thank Club Jerky for their support, and Club Jerky constantly searches the country to find great tasting beef jerky, and only the best is delivered to their members and gift recipients. Basically select the amount of beef jerky you want them to send you each month. You tell them where you want the jerky sent to. You can get it sent to your house, to your office, or even to someone special. And then, like magic, fresh and delicious jerky will arrive in the mail every single month. And if you're interested in that, make sure to visit their website at clubjerky.com. We actually recently got Club Jerky for my dad's birthday, and we were very pleased with everything that comes with the subscription. We got the 3 months, 2 jerky plan. We got 2 beef jerkies. One of them was like a smoky beef jerky, and the other one was a carne asada one. Both were very good. Comes with toothpicks, a business card, and a sticker as well. So go get you some jerky today at clubjerky.com. Derek Rigel says, still love... Yep, I love watching it too. I know he's talking about in the Intensity promo video with Ian Martin getting into the back bumper of Brian Nudie. I know sometimes I feel like if people think of Intensity Broadcasting, they think of that because that's like one of the first things you see when you tune into one of our broadcasts. I agree. That's still big in the Intensity promo video. Now, last week, we were at Thompson Speedway, and it was a 50-lap race. We saw 4 cautions for 17 laps and 1 lead change. Scott Rochefort led the first 17 laps, but then we saw Logan Powers was able to inherit the lead with 33 to go, and he led the rest of the way after starting in 4th. So Powers got first, Scott Rochefort got second, Eddie Hughes took third, Stephen Rochefort took fourth, and then rounding out your top 5 was Mike Durfee. Well, it says on here, it says that for iRacing that it's 11. But I'll make sure to keep that in mind that it's 77. Thank you for pointing that out. Wait. Yeah, no problem. So we got the 77 of Scott Rochefort on track right now, getting ready to turn his lap time. And Lucas Oil, very, very tricky track. I've announced a couple races here before, and definitely there's a lot of room for error here, so these drivers are going to have to be very, very careful here. Sean Langton, first driver on the board with a 22 flat. Logan Powers able to break into the 21s with a 21.95. Let's see, Scott. Top of the board with a 21.93. That is a great lap time for him. So right now, 200 separate first and second right now. Sean Langton to the top of the board. Then Logan Powers to the top of the board. Logan improves on lap number 2 with a 21.85. Eddie Hughes, oh, there we go. Now we got Scott Rochefort on the top of the board. Again, great lap time for him with a 21.84. So now 100th separates first and second between Scott Rochefort and Eddie Hughes. Man, we're just keeping on seeing drivers besting their first lap times. We see Powers to the top of the board with a 21.71. Wow. Great lap time for him. He's showing us why. He already has 3 wins this season. So now that's going to bring the gap between first and second to 600. Right now in second, it's Sean Langton with a 21.77. Stephen Rochefort, good lap time on lap number 2 with a 21.74. So now 300 separate first and second. Mike Durfee getting ready to go into the board. Mike Durfee had a great race last week at Thompson. Started on the pole. He did get passed on lap 1, didn't get to lead any laps, but still he was in the top 5 for most of the race. So lap number 1, he's to 8th with a 22.18. Let's see if he can improve. So now it's a 22.05 for Mike Durfee. And it looks like these drivers have 3 laps? They do. So these drivers are going to have 3 laps to try to set their best possible lap time. So there you have it. I do want to take a look quickly. Here's the race info. 67 degrees Fahrenheit, 67% humidity. Clear skies, 4 miles per hour wind speed. Track temperature is a little bit warmer at 69 degrees Fahrenheit. And we are in Clermont, Indiana, which I believe is right outside of Indianapolis at the .67 mile oval or 7/10. And again, this is a very, very tricky, very, very difficult track, and we'll see how the drivers handle these challenges that this track presents. Got David Ankenbauer on track right now. Ankenbauer had a rough race last week at Thompson. He's looking to try to improve this week. So on this first lap, it's a 22.17. That's going to put him in 8th. And you see running all the way up against the wall. That's the line that he's running right now. A little bit slower on that second lap. He is going to come to a stop. And qualifying will wrap up here. And it is now time for the heat race. And here's a look at your starting lineup for it. Starting on the pole with a 21.713 is his lap time. It's Logan Powers on the pole. Outside of him from New England, it's Stephen Rochefort. In third, it's Sean Langton. Fourth is last week's, where he finished second last week, Scott Rochefort. And then rounding out your top 5 it is your points leader, Eddie Hughes. In 6th with the wide world of motorsports racing, it's Thomas Eggleston. 7th is Mike Durfee. 8th from Ohio, it's David Ankenbauer. 9th is Mr. Chris Spangler. And then rounding out your top 10, it's Canada's own Michael Wallace. And then last but not least, we have the 48 of Jordan Durans. And basically a look at how these heat races work. There will be bonus points given for the top 3 finishers. So first gets 3 points, second gets 2 points, third gets 1 point, and the top 8 are inverted. So if you finish 8th here in this heat race, so for example, say David Ankenbauer finishes 8th, then he will start on the pole in the feature, and this is an effort to, mix up the top finishers a bit, and if you win the heat race, you'll get rewarded with some bonus points, and this also makes for some great racing with this heat racing format. And there we go, pace cars off. Getting ready for our pace laps here. Drivers will be warming up their tires, trying to get as much heat in them as possible before the start of this race. So a little bit of information on your front row. We got last week's winner, Logan Power, starting on the pole. He's got 3 wins this season. I'm very surprised that he isn't currently your points leader. He did, I believe, have like one rough race that kind of hurt his point standing, so he's looking to try to get win number 4 here tonight. And then outside of him, it is Steven Rochefort, a driver who is looking for his first win of the season. He definitely has a good car week in and week out. He just hasn't been able to get up there, and definitely there is a chance that tonight will be the night that we'll see Steven get his first win of the season. So coming to the green flag now. Drivers taking one last deep breath before they hammer down that gas for the start. Pace car is in. And green flag is out here at Lucas Oil Raceway. We see your leader, Logan Powers, taking off, but a great start for Steven Rochefort as well. We see Powers able to get clear of Rochefort. We are side by side for second. Here comes Sean Langton on the bottom. He's about to the rear quarter panel of Steven Rochefort right now. Rochefort taking a look to the high side, trying to get to the outside of Logan Powers. He can't quite get it there, but he is still right on his back bumper, and watch out still for that 7 car of Sean Langton. You see Steven Rochefort continuing to set up that pass on Logan Powers. Looking to see, where he's braking, where he's lifting, just trying to find any way that he can get around that 31. And main thing is waiting for that 31 to make a mistake, maybe get loose or wash up a little bit. We'll see what happens here. Logan Powers, though, just ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 21.90, showing why he's in the lead right now. But Rochefort continuing to stay right there on his back bumper. And Steven Rochefort, who is to the rear quarter panel of the 31, just ran the fastest lap time of the race. Rochefort is right there. He is going to fall back in behind him, but we know that he definitely has a car that can get under him. He's just going to have to continue to set up that pass. 21.74 was the lap time. Last lap, 21.71 this time by for Logan Powers. Great lap time for him. Again, showing why he is your current leader and was your pole sitter. And 5 laps to go. Now, the main thing that we're going to keep in mind is who is in 8th right now. Because, again, the driver who finishes in 8th because of the invert will be starting on the pole. And it's looking like Mike Durfee will be your pole sitter again, as he is currently running in that 8th spot. He is trying to catch Michael Wallace, and he's got Jordan Reigns behind him. But if I were him, I would just kind of chill out right now, because I know that, hey, if I finish where I'm at right now, I'm going to be starting on the pole. So it's, again, looking like Mike Durfee will be starting on the pole just like he did last race, and it worked out for him. He got a top 5 from it. Let's see what happens here. We continue to watch this battle for the lead between Logan Powers and Stephen Rochefort. It's got to be getting kind of frustrating right now for Stephen Rochefort. Has been behind Powers for so long. He's just, man, he needs to find something that works for him. Question is, what will it be? 2 laps to go now. Your top 3 is looking like this: Logan Powers, Stephen Rochefort, Sean Langton. We did see a couple laps ago, Eddie Hughes ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 21.65. Last lap for Logan Powers. Can he hold off Stephen Rochefort? Rochefort getting right to the rear quarter panel of Logan Powers, but as he drifts up the track off of turn 2, falls back behind that 31. Through 3 and 4, it's looking good for Logan Powers. And Logan Powers will win your heat race here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Mike Durfee finishes 8th. He will be starting on the pole. And we are now going to have another 5-minute warm-up just to give these drivers a little bit more time to dial in those setups, as this league is an open setup league. And all drivers were provided a setup by Majors Garage. And these drivers can choose to just run the setup as it is, maybe make a few adjustments based on, their personal liking, or these drivers can use a setup of their own that they had. It's completely up to the driver, but we do, as always, want to thank Majors Garage for being kind enough to supply the league with setups for everybody. And if you are interested in getting some setups from Majors Garage, make sure to visit their website at majorsgarage.com. And they don't just have setups on there. You can also get affordable monthly subscriptions, telemetry, coaching, and more. And it's the perfect website to, if you want to get better at iRacing. Now, I do know that and you might be wondering, well, I'm not in iRacing right now. iRacing is actually having a Black Friday deal right now where it's 25% off renewing an active iRacing membership. So if you are in iRacing right now, you can renew it 25% off reactivating an expired iRacing membership. So say you have had iRacing before, but you kind of left and you haven't been on there in a while. Well, you can reactivate your iRacing membership for just 25% off. And if say you haven't been on iRacing before, you don't have an iRacing account, it's right now 50% off from now through December 4th for signing up for iRacing for the first time. And iRacing is the perfect simulator for car fans or racing fans. And I know we got Christmas coming up, so if you do know somebody that likes NASCAR or likes race cars, then iRacing is definitely the perfect gift for them. And once again, 50% off from now through December 4th. So go ahead and get it now. And again, it's perfect for NASCAR or race car fans. And it's also great for if you're a real life racer and during the off season, you can't go to the local track and you want to get some practice time. Go ahead and download iRacing. I know they have legend cars, late models, super late models, modified, street stock. So if you maybe race any of those in real life, you can get some practice over the off season here on iRacing. I've talked to many drivers, and they've all said that iRacing can definitely help with the real life racing. Right now, currently in practice, we see Scott Rochefort on the top of the board with a 21.64. Second, Sean Langton, 21.74. So about a tenth separates first and second right now. We'll see what Scott can do here in the feature event, looking to try to get his first win of the season. And once again, we do want to thank the two sponsors, as always, Club Jerky and Majors Garage, for all their support of the league. And if you want either of their services, again, visit both of their websites, majorsgarage.com and clubjerky.com. So here we go. Will we see a first-time winner tonight? Driver like maybe Thomas Eggleston or Stephen Rochefort. Could we potentially see a name that we have already seen coming to victory lane? Eddie Hughes or Logan Powers. Maybe a dark horse like Mike Durfee or Chris Spangler. We'll see what happens here. It's anybody's game at Lucas Oil, especially with the invert. The invert is definitely going to shake a lot of things up and put some drivers that we don't normally see up front, and they could hold their own. You never know. Let's see here. So here we go. The drivers are gridding. Let's take a look at your starting lineup. Starting on the pole, your eighth, finishing eighth in the heat race, it is Mike Durfee. Outside of him, it's Canada's own Michael Wallace. In third with the Wide World of Motorsports Racing team, Thomas Eggleston. Outside of him, points leader Eddie Hughes. And then rounding out your top five, it's none other than Scott Rochefort. Then in sixth, it's California's own Sean Langton. Seventh is Stephen Rochefort. And then rounding out your top eight is your heat race winner, Logan Powers. Ninth will be the 33, Chris Spangler. Rounding out your top 10, it's Jordan Durans. And then last but not least, it is the 08 of David Ankenbauer. 11-car field here tonight. And only one can win. Let's see what happens here. And these drivers are officially shifting in the first gear and getting ready to warm up those tires. Because you definitely don't want to go into turn one with cold tires. Also, keep this in mind. Michael Wallace, who is the 64 on your ticker, he is the 79 on track. So if you are a Michael Wallace fan and you're like, well, I don't see the 64 on track, he is actually the 79 Coors Light car, as you see currently outside of Mike Durfee. So here we go. Getting ready to go green again. Mike Durfee starting on the bottom. It will be Michael Wallace on the top. All right, pace car is in. And green flag is out here at Lucas Oil Raceway for 50 laps, and we see Mike Durfee is taking off, trying to get clear of Michael Wallace here in turn one, but we see Wallace holding his own on that outside, getting a great run. Michael Wallace with the nose here on the back stretch. He is blinking a little bit, but he is able to get to first now and is ahead of Mike Durfee. Mike Durfee just trying to get back up there to the lead. We see Eddie Hughes, and all the cars around. Caution is out. First caution in the race, and it looked to be, we saw the Green Bay Packers car of Thomas Eggleston was around. So we'll go ahead and take a gander at what just happened. See, Thomas Eggleston was running side by side with Sean Langton's got Scott Rochefort behind him. See, the car starts to get sideways here in the center of the corner of 3 and 4, and yep, just goes around. Scott Rochefort has nowhere to go except for right into that 78 machine, and then it just causes a big pileup. Drivers getting into each other. Stephen Rochefort involved. Jordan Duran's involved. See, David Ankenbauer gets some damage. Man, Eggleston was running up there. Hate to see it for him, but he's just going to get the damage fixed and head back out there. And I definitely think we're going to see turns 3 and 4 be a trouble spot. I think we're going to see a lot of wrecks off of 4 especially. And these drivers are just going to have to deal with it and have to be able to control the car. And a good setup can definitely help with that, but it's going to take a lot of driver control as well. But we did see Michael Wallace was able to get to the lead. He is your current leader right now. Pole sitter Mike Durfee fell to second. We got Eddie Hughes up to third right now. Sean Langton got 2 positions on the start, and he's up to fourth. And then already, Logan Powers is up to 5th right now. He gained 3 spots on the start after starting in 8th. So lights are off on the pace car. We are getting ready to go back green here. See the two make a little bit of contact as the pace car heads in to the pits. And Michael Wallace continues to blink. Let's see if that'll cause a problem. Green flag is out there. We see Michael Wallace taking off, and he is able to get clear of Mike Durfee side by side for third between Eddie Hughes and, Sean Langton. The two make contact. They're side by side here through 1 and 2, and Langton is able to get a good run on that outside and get up to that third spot. We see side by side for fourth. Logan Powers continuing to make his trek up through the field, about to Hughes' door right now, running on that outside. He was getting a little bit loose off of 4. Good job controlling it. Ooh, almost make a little bit of contact there. These two are first and second in the points right now. The cream of the crop here in the Mayhem Racing League Modified Series, but we see Logan Powers able to make the pass up to third, and he is right on Sean Langton's back bumper right now. Sean Langton currently looking low under Mike Durfee for that second spot. Ooh, he looks like Durfee almost got to the back of Michael Wallace. That slows him down and allows Sean Langton to get under him. We'll see if Logan Powers decides to follow behind. Oh no, Mike Durfee into the outside wall. We see a wreck. He's able to save it, and we continue racing. Sean Langton looking low under Michael Wallace for that lead. Langton with the nose. And he is able to get clear. Michael Wallace almost getting into the outside wall, and we see Logan Powers now looking low under Sean Langton for that first spot. Side by side right now. Sean Langton able to get clear, but Logan Powers still right there. And we see Scott Rochefort trying to get to third. We did see Eddie Hughes just ran the fastest lap time in the race with a 21.74. Let's see if he can get up there to the rest of the field right now. There's currently a 8/10 gap between 4th and 5th right now. We see Powers almost with the nose right now. Sean Langton coming back on the outside. Neither driver giving each other an inch. And we see Sean Langton able to get clear. So now Scott Rochefort all over Logan Powers' back bumper right now. Scott Rochefort has a rocket right now, looking very, very fast. So what is Logan Powers going to do? We know he has the faster car than Langton, was the fastest in the initial practice, fastest in qualifying, won the heat race, but he seems to definitely be having a lot of trouble getting by Sean Langton. We take a look here at the cockpit cam of that 31 machine. We see, maybe, oh, it looks like he's trying to take it to the high side, which we have seen drivers make it work up there. Let's see what happens. And then, of course, oh, look at this. Scott Rochefort taking a look down low under Logan Powers, taking advantage of the fact that he is held up behind Sean Langton, but he is not able to get under him and has to fall back behind him. Again, we see Powers taking another peek to the high side, but he can't quite get above that 7 machine. And once again, Scott Rochefort peeking into frame. If something happens up front with these two, Sean Langton, Logan Powers, they get into each other, Scott Rochefort could be able to take advantage of. Oh, and we see a caution flag come out. David Ankenbauer's around. Get your wreckage replay up. We'll go ahead and take a look at what happened. So we were side by side between David Ankenbauer and Chris Spangler, and Ankenbauer just washes way up the track off the bottom into Spangler's rear quarter panel. That's going to send the 33 around. We even see Chris Spangler getting some air time. And oh, he hits the outside wall, gets onto his lid. Georgia Rands barely misses making contact. And looks like he had to reset and go back to pit road. Hate to see it for David Ankenbauer. I mean, that is one of the worst feelings, knowing that you're on your roof and you can't flip back over. And having a tow is just, man, it's hard. But hopefully Ankenbauer can get all he can tow and get back out onto the track and finish out the race. And Ankenbauer has just mainly disconnected. Definitely had a rough race with that incident. Hate to see it, but there is always next week. So right now, here's a look at your top 5. See, Sean Langton in first right now. He was able to gain 6 spots from the start, made some good passes. Same thing with Logan Powers. He's having trouble getting by Sean Langton. Let's see what you can do here. We got Scott Rochefort kind of sitting in the catbird seat in third right now. Eddie Hughes has just been chilling in fourth right now. He has the fastest lap time of the race. And then we got Michael Wallace in fifth. Green flag is back out, and there we see Sean Langton taking off. He is able to get clear of Logan Powers, but the battle continues for second. Scott Rochefort is actually side by side with Eddie Hughes right now. Hughes getting a great run on that outside. He has the nose as we head onto the backstretch, and he is able to get clear. Eddie Hughes up to third now. We see Logan Powers trying his best to reel in your leader, Sean Langton. He's actually gaining time. And we'll see what Logan Powers can do here. I think we might just try to see him. We might see him make a pass here at any second. We see Powers keeping it up on that high side. We are currently coming to 25 laps to go here. Not a lot of time left for these drivers. We see Scott Rochefort chasing Eddie Hughes right now for third. Just ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 21.65. And I think from real life racing experience that you're always going faster when you're chasing someone. Somebody who you're trying to catch. It motivates you. It makes you turn faster lap times. It's kind of how it is. And I think that's going to really help Scott Rochefort just get by that 34 machine. And there we see Logan Powers taking it low under Sean Langton. He had the nose. Langton fighting back on the outside. And they're wrecking behind him. We see a car goes into the air. Caution flag is out. I was watching the battle for the lead. We did see Powers. He had the lead when the caution flag came out. I just saw a car go flying into the air. Whoa, that was, whew. We'll get to see the wreckage replay right here and what all happened. Man. From my perspective, it looked like Stephen Rochefort wanted to go on a NASA moon mission. So we see Thomas Eggleston getting a great run on Stephen Rochefort. I don't know if they had different braking and lifting zones or what. And Rochefort gets loose off of 4, slides across the nose of the 78, and then flies like an eagle onto his lid, into the inside wall. We see sparks. Woo! And then he was able to get back onto the tires, but that was one wild ride for Scott Rochefort. And I think the reason why I went there in the first place was we saw an invisible Michael Wallace get into him from behind. So here's a look at what happened from the cockpit cam in real time. That's one wild ride for sure. So it looks like they ended up giving the lead back to Sean Langton despite Powers was pretty much equal with him. Third, we see Eddie Hughes was able to get by Scott Rochefort. Great pass by him. So now Rochefort is in first, and we see your pole sitter Mike Durfee is back up to fifth. He fell behind on the start, but after he's been able to avoid a lot of the wrecks, he's getting back up there. We are coming to 20 laps to go. Not a lot of time for second place Logan Powers to try to get it from Sean Langton. He's really going to have to dig into the bag of tricks to try to find something to get by that 7 machine. See Chris Spangler, Stephen Rochefort, both in the pits right now. Both of them were involved in our most recent incident, and especially Stephen Rochefort with a ton of damage. He is finally exiting the pits after getting all that fixed. Again, he went on a very wild ride off of turn number 4, and that just, continues the struggles that we've seen off of turn number 4. And I think the main thing about turn 4 is you don't want, and I think turn 4 is where a lot of these drivers are getting back into the gas. I don't think you want to get into the gas too hard off of turn 4, that's going to send the car around. You don't want to use the gas pedal like a light switch where you slam back on it as soon as you're able to get back into the gas. You kind of have to ease back into it so the car doesn't get loose, and these drivers are going to have to be careful of that in the last 15 or so laps so they don't lose any track position. There we go. Green flag is back out. We see Sean Langton taking off. He's able to get clear of Logan Powers, but Logan Powers is right there on his back bumper trying to take that lead. We see Eddie Hughes all over the back bumper of that 31 machine right now. Powers kind of looking in the front and looking behind him, having a lot of pressure right now. As he continues to try to reel in that 7 machine. He's got Eddie Hughes taking a look under him. Let's see what that 34 car can do. So we got Scott Rochefort all over the back bumper of Eddie Hughes right now. He's trying to take that 3rd spot back where he ran for a lot of this race. And we take a look now at the battle for the front. Logan Powers reeling in Sean Langton. Powers just ran the fastest lap time of the race. That 31 is the fastest it's been all race, and that should definitely help him get by that 7 machine. Just has to keep hitting his marks, turning laps, and try to get up there. And he's got to make a smart, clean pass, though, if he wants to get by that 7. Don't want to wreck the car. Almost got into the back bumper of the 7 machine. What's Powers going to try to do? Look here at the cockpit cam of that 31 machine. He is like right there on Langton's back bumper. He's taking a look down low, almost onto the apron. He's able to get to Langton's rear quarter panel, trying to set up a pass for 3 and 4. Gets a good run. But he has to fall back behind. Sean Langton looking for his first win of the season. Could it come here tonight at Lucas Oil Raceway? We'll see. He just has to hold off Logan Powers, a driver who does know how to get it done. Has 3 wins this season, including last week at Thompson. Again, we see Powers looking down low, getting almost to the rear quarter panel of Langton. Powers to the high side. He's trying to find anything to get by Langton. 11 laps. We're nearing 10 laps to go. The pressure's on for Logan Powers. And then behind him, if Powers makes a mistake, he's got Eddie Hughes and Scott Rochefort there. See, taking another peek inside. What is he going to try to do? Powers down low. Run up against that wall. 9 laps to go now. And this kind of proves just how hard it is to pass here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Just the nature of the track makes it extremely difficult to pass. We see Powers able to get to Langton's rear quarter panel. Good run for him. He has the nose. Langton trying to fight back on the outside. Powers with the nose. We see Sean Langton able to get back clear. You're side by side for third between Eddie Hughes and Scott Rochefort. Rochefort taking a look down low. They're pretty much equal as we cross the line. Rochefort with the nose, getting a great run on that bottom line. The two make contact, beating and banging for that third spot. And Scott Rochefort is able to slide up into third. We see Eddie Hughes taking it back down low. Look back to the battle for the lead between Sean Langton and Logan Powers. 5 laps to go now for Logan Powers to try to do something here. All right, Logan Powers. What is he going to try to do here? We look back at that cockpit cam. This is what it looks like from his perspective. One of my biggest problems with these cars is kind of the view from the cockpit here. As you can see, it's kind of hard to see the car in front of you with the big air filter. Two laps to go now for Powers. Will Sean Langton get his first win of the season, or will Powers be able to do something about it? One lap to go for Sean Langton. Logan Powers maybe taking a look to the high side, trying to get some speed up there. I don't think he can. He's going to have to try to do something. Taking a look down to the bottom, maybe trying to set something up for 3 and 4 to Langton's rear quarter panel to his side panel. Powers is there. Can't quite get under him. Sean Langton gets his first win of the season. After coming very, very close in multiple races, he finally gets it done here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Sean Langton doing his well-deserved burnouts. What a race for him. Gained 5 positions after the green flag dropped. One heck of a race for him. We are going to wait for a little bit just to see if anybody does join the waiting room for an interview. I'm not sure. Wow, what a race for Sean Langton. I'm going to go ahead and put the feature results up. And though we actually have your race winner, Sean Langton, in the broadcast booth. Sean, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, Atlee.
Awesome. Well, what a race for you. You started in that 6th spot, and you quickly made work with a lot of the drivers, got by Durfee, but got by Wallace, and were able to get up to that lead very early on. And, I mean, the only driver that was really putting up a fight for you is Logan Powers, but you were able to hold him off, and including on that last lap, he was right there, but you had enough speed to hold him off. I mean, what was your take on this race here at Lucas Oil Raceway?
Yeah, first I'd like to thank my sponsor, Club Jerky, Marshall, for doing everything he does for the league. Seth couldn't make it tonight. He had to run off for a work-related issue. Thinking about him. But yeah, the race at IRP tonight was blast. This track is amazing. I found a little something in practice, changed my lineup, and I was able to make my car wide enough to hold Logan off. I think he had a faster car, but this is hard to pass here. I appreciate him for keeping it clean, and it was a very fun race.
I know this.
Go
ahead.
Hi to my family at home, by the way.
And I know this league is open setup. I know. Did you just use it straight from the Majors Garage? Maybe make some changes, or did you use your own?
Yep, had the Majors Garage set up in. Appreciate Majors for coming on board. They provide great setups. I tweaked it a little bit. Track bar is usually my go-to adjustment. I actually changed a little bit of front sway bar to loosen it up. And like I said, the main thing was changing my lineup. I found a little speed run in the middle. I was able to kind of mirror drive that last little session there and keep Logan behind me.
Awesome. Well, before we let you go, Sean, is there any sponsors or family members you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Just like to thank Mayhem Racing League, Seth, Club Jerky, the Worldwide of Motorsports podcast for providing my paint scheme. Just all the guys for showing up. We're having some really good racing lately. Appreciate you for broadcasting too.
Definitely had fun doing it. So congratulations on your win, Sean. Have a great rest of your night.
All right, Atlee. We'll see you next week.
Yep. Well, that is going to do it here for the broadcast of the Club Jerky Mayhem Modifieds here on Intensity Broadcasting. We do want to thank the sponsors, Majors Garage and Club Jerky, for sponsoring the series, and I thank all the viewers for tuning in to watch the broadcast here on Intensity Broadcasting. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as it would be greatly appreciated. We are on the road to 2,000 followers on Facebook by our 2-year anniversary, which is in April, and I think we can meet that goal as a racing and iRacing community. Same thing on YouTube. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by April, which is, again, our 2-year anniversary. So make sure to follow or subscribe on both of those platforms. Check us out on Twitter, Intensity Broad 1. We're always dropping polls on there for our viewers to interact with, and it's a fun time on there. And again, just thank you for tuning in to watch the broadcast. I'm Atlee Atman-Weist on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Over and out.